Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, where today we're going to be taking a look at two different Airsoft replicas. Now I have one of them in my right hand and the other one here in my left hand, but instead of telling you what the key difference is between these two replicas, I thought that I would let you figure that out for yourself. So yeah, there's quite a difference between these two. This is the standard SSR9. As you can see, it has got a longer barrel when compared to this little forwardy facey little one here. It's also green, and that's because the standard SSR9 comes in 3 different colours. You can get it in green, tactical black, or a nice lady pink. Not that pink is for ladies, but yeah, pink is for ladies. Whereas this one here on my left hand side is only available in black. They both have the kind of expandable little stocky bits here with a little button you can press to make it shorter to go in like that. They both have the same battery compartments in there as well, which sadly aren't the biggest things out there. They'll only take like a small kind of stick lipo. But hey, you can get an 1100 mAh one in there, so if you're not going too mad, swap it over at lunchtime and you'll be fine. There's also a slight difference in the grips in that the motors in these replicas are different too. And that's because this one is the SSR9 DSG. The DSG stands for dual sector gear. Now what does that ruddy well mean, you may be asking? Well, a sector gear is a gear inside a gearbox that's got a little kind of like knobbly bit sticking out. And what that does is as it goes around, it moves a taper plate inside, which allows you to load a BB, and it like kind of pulls the piston back and does a load of other fun things like that. So say you had an Airsoft replica with a standard sector gear in there, and you were firing about 16 BBs per second. If you then swapped it out for a dual sector gear, so you had 2 of those little knobbly things on there, then you would increase your fire rate by double, turning your 16 round per second replica into a 32 round per second beast. But that's not without the odd caveat though. More rounds per second means your gearbox is going to be wearing more, and it also means that your piston won't be moving as far back, so your replica will be slightly less powerful. Which is why when you look on the Novritsch website at the SSR9 DSG, it's only available in a half dual and 1 dual variants. You could, if you wanted to, put a higher power spring in there, however you may find that your fire rate will drop compared to what's advertised on the website, and you will experience more wear in the replica itself because the higher power spring is slamming the piston at a higher power for more into the front of the gearbox, and then it could be more likely to crack. So if you do get the SSR9 DSG, just kind of get it and leave it as it's set when it arrives with you. Now it is only available in this short setup version too, which I actually don't really feel too miffed about, if I'm honest with you, just because it still feels really comfortable to hold. I would, however, like to, you know, have a little bit more of a grip on there because I like to have my arm quite stretched out when I'm playing Airsoft. However, it's not too short that it becomes uncomfortable, and you know what, it's kind of at the point where it's so short you can just kind of grab the magwell instead, keeping it nice and tight and close to your chest. The magazines that are available for the SSR9, both standard and DSG, they're intercompatible with each other. There's 2 different types. You got your standard black not see-through one, so you can't see how many BBs you've got left, and then you've got your see-through one where you can see the BBs in there, so you can roughly see how many BBs you've got left, which is very handy if you're in a position and the enemy are about to do a big push at you and you're like, do I need to change because, you know, I need more BBs and whatnot? Quick look at your magazine, you know if you need to change it. Both of these magazines as well, by the way, come with 120 BB capacities. So there's no benefit over getting one of these than versus the other. Quick little note though, when I received these magazines with it, because Novritsch sent me this all by the way, thank you very much Mr. Novritsch, the black ones which weren't see-through arrived all perfectly fine. However, I did have some of the clear ones come and arrive broken. There was a little bit of plastic somewhere that had snapped, and it meant that the inside of the magazine was just like out on like inside the packaging when it came. I believe it was the bit that this screw part here goes into, because that kind of like holds it all together. However, that was reported to Novritsch, and then the clever people who have been like designing and sorting out these magazines made some changes, and they increased the thickness of the plastic in that part there. So that should be all resolved now. But if you do get a magazine that, you know, arrives a little bit less perfect condition than you would like it to, get in touch with customer services and they'll get those all replaced for you. But what are some of the cool features of the SSR9 DSG? What are some of the things that could make you want to pick up this Airsoft replica? Well, first of all, it's got an electronic programmable trigger unit, or an ETU, which essentially means that you can customize the way in which the replica works. So you could change your full auto setting to burst fire, for example. You could change the trigger to be a binary trigger, which means it fires when you pull it and fires when you let it go as well. A little bit bit cheeky in my books, and some fields aren't big fans of that, but hey, if your field's happy with that and you're a cheeky little boy, then you can use it yourself. It also comes with battery and overheat protection too, so if your battery gets too low of a voltage, it will shut off, it won't work, to make sure that your batteries stay in tip-top condition. And the overheat protection will stop the gun from overheating and having a bit of a meltdown. You can get around that if you are pulling the battery out and putting it back in constantly, or swapping batteries around and whatnot. So please, if your replica stops firing, it's a safety measure. Just leave it and come back to it another time. You've got a CNC Picatinny handguard up here, which is very nice. There's a longer one on the standard version too, and I believe they are interchangeable. So say you wanted to run the DSG version and you wanted an integrated suppressor look, you could get the longer handguard, put that on there, and then get one of the cool integrated suppressors that Novritsch do, and then it'll be like a nice little like cheeky, like quieter integrated suppressor look, which would be bellissimo lovely. It's got a 6.03mm inner barrel on there, so quite precision, making you nice and accurate. And it also comes with a rotary hop unit too, and maple leaf bucking as standard. Now if you do get one of these, just like all of the Novritsch replicas, make sure you give it a clean when it arrives with you. There is often a little bit of extra lubricant inside the replica itself, and that's so when it's like traveling and whatnot, it doesn't get like corroded or anything bad like that, any nasty stuff. So yeah, anytime you do get a Novritsch replica, give it a little bit of a clean first of all. I quite like the trigger design on there. It is a modern flat trigger, but probably more importantly for me is that it has a quick change spring in there, and it's an actual real quick change spring, not like some of the people out there who say it's a quick change spring and then it ends up not being a quick change spring. So you take like off the back bit here all of the way, that comes off, this comes off, there's a screw in there, you take that off, and then you can change the spring in there. So if you want to up the power, lower the power, or if you just want to put a new spring in after using it for quite a while and breathe some fresh life into it, then that is something you can do too. It comes with a CNC amplifier on there, which, yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, it's all right and kind of like does look cool. However, on here, I've got a Project Airsoft one, and it just looks absolutely awesome. So if you want one of these, go check out Project Airsoft. The link is below in the description. And finally, in the cool features list, is it comes wired to Deans already. So no Tamiya nonsense over here. It comes with a T-plug, a Deans T-plug, so you can plug in your favorite like high quality batteries and use it with this thing. Again, battery size is not the biggest, so you probably want to get one of the 1100 mAh 11.1 volt lipos that they have on the website too. Now we did have that little audible test earlier of the differences between the DSG version and the standard version of the SSR9, but let's do a little bit of a chrono ourselves to see where they both kind of come in at, just to see the differences between the two, although they're both like rated to be one dual replicas. And let's also see what the fire rate comes up for me as well, because on the website it quotes that this beast should be 36 BBs per second, and I would like to see how close I am to that figure. So here we go. We are set with 0.28 gram BBs in there, and let's see what our FPS is. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. 0.93 joules, it's meant to come in at 1 joule, so yeah, we are right under the limit there, and that's where I want to be with this replica. It's nice to know I've got a little bit of headroom, and I'm also going to be site legal taking it to the field. But now, the fun starts. Let's see how many BBs per second we get out of this thing. That just sounds ridiculous. 36.5. Yeah, check that out. That's awesome. So we are slightly above the advertised rounds per second out of this replica. It's supposed to be 36. I pressed the release button on that to get that out, by the way. It didn't just fall out automatically. We are 36.5 BBs, advertised 36, and oh my day, I'm never gonna get over that sound. That's just absolutely insane. So it does exactly what it says on the tin. The FPS is right on point, and the RPS is right on point too. But while we're here, why don't we just do the SSR9 standard version as well, just for sanity's sake. Alright, we are set up, so let's see what the FPS is like. Ooh, so this one has come down to 0.84 joules. It's worth noting actually that this is being used in my rentable airsoft range because I have a mobile airsoft range that I take to events and whatnot. And on an average day, we go through between 15,000 to 17,000 BBs. So this replica has seen quite a lot of shots fired in its lifetime. Yeah, going down to 0.84 joules, like, and it's supposed to be 1 joule, that's fine in my book considering the use it's had. But let's see what RPS we're running at with this bad boy. 21.3, and look, the joulage went up to 0.88 on that one as well. So it's not as under as initially I thought it would be. It was kind of like coming up there towards the end, which is nice. And yeah, 21.3 rounds per second. I mean, if you're not hitting people with 21.3 rounds a second, I don't think that's the replica's fault. I think that's probably more user error. But hey, if you've got a lot of like bush that you need to cut through, or if you've got somebody who you're a bit suspicious of isn't calling their hits, then the DSG version is probably the one for you. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below. Big thank you to all of my Patreons. You are babes and I love you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.